Hey, welcome back to the 4 Ways to Grow Your Business. Donna Phoebus with Integrity Business Advisors here with you again. And today we're going to move to our second way. You just get down here to slide number 10 and make the screen big. Geez, Donna. Okay, second way we can grow our business. Increase the number of times customers come back to you. So while your front-end marketing was our first way, the second way is your back end. So customer retention and getting your current customers to come back to you. So front end and back end. So getting them there first is your front end, and getting them to come back is your back end. So increasing the number of times your customers buy from you is pretty vital to the long-term health and profitability of your business. So think about it this way. It can cost up to 6 times more to win a new customer than it does to have an existing customer purchase again. I'm assuming that you guys want to know why. So if you've invested time and money to acquire a customer for the first sale, but every additional sale after that doesn't involve any cost, that totally makes sense to me. So for every sale you make after the first one, you actually keep more of the profit. Does that make sense? So strategies that we're going to use is, classifying your customers, asking them to return, provide awesome service, nurture your customers, and use comments. Okay, so we're going to increase our customer return rate by classifying them. And one of the ways that you can do that is to, label them with letters. So, for example, your customers that would be under A are the ones that you'd absolutely love. You would go, 1,000 miles just to, work with them or help them. They're like your top notch. You absolutely never want to lose these customers. So customers that fall into category B, those customers have the potential to become A's. You still like them. They're still great customers, but they're not quite meeting, the A customer list. You know what I mean? So C customers they're not ideal. They're just not ideal. You'll go ahead and, sell to them, but they're just, they're not ideal customers. And D customers are the ones you'd rather not have them just plain not come back at all. You don't care whether they, live or die or ever set foot on your property again. You just don't want to deal with them. It's like easier to get rid of them than it is to deal with them. And so, each allows you to develop appropriate marketing, for each group. And what I mean is that your customer A's are the ones that you want to keep working with, right? So maybe you invite them to just join a preferred, customer club or something that you might have. Or, maybe they get special mailings and offers. You could go so far as to ask your D customers to go somewhere else, freeing up more time and energy for your preferred customers. I mean, it's completely up to you. And here's super simple, right? How do you get them to come back? You ask them to. Yes, it is that simple. So most businesses fail to recognize the profit potential in inviting past customers back. It really is as easy as that. So assuming that they were happy with you the first time. If they weren't, well, that's a whole nother conversation. But once a customer is delighted with the product or service that they want to continue, receiving from you, they want to continue in the relationship, making them feel important and valued gives them that incentive to do that. So it's just like, incentivizing your staff. You're valuing your staff. So you might give them incentives, right? Well, it's no different for a customer. You want them to know that you value their business. Employees want to know that you value the work that they're doing. Same thing. And remember, 68% of customers who leave you for your competitor leave because of perceived indifference. So in other words, they didn't feel that you valued them or were concerned whether they bought from you or not. So not following up to say thank you and please come back, not making them special offers or sending them special mailings. You're not giving them any attention and they don't like it. So we consider that a perceived indifference, and I'll give you an example. I get really irritated when I go to McDonald's and I'm greeted at the drive-thru with, "Can I take your order?" So I tell them, "Yeah, I'd like to have, some chicken nuggets, a fry with a Coke." "Is that everything?" "Yeah, that'll do it." First window. Well, how rude is that? Does that sound like, I'm feeling appreciated for coming to their establishment and spending my money? No. So it's really simple to stand out from the crowd right now. All you have to do is use manners and you're going to stand out, way far beyond what anybody else is doing. Super simple. All right. Provide awesome service. Hey, another one. I love this one because it's so important to provide, service that goes above and beyond the norm. And again, this is not difficult to stand out by using good customer service because most of us, well, not us, but, most places, most establishments, they have a really hard time finding quality people that treat customers like they're these most amazing people and they're the best customer that they ever have, and they treat every single one of them the same way. So you want to have the service that goes above and beyond the norm. To do that, it's good to have a team commitment, to awesome service. There's things that you can do to, get the team to rally together and, work as a team and, make a game out of it. You know what I mean? So, the commitment could, make certain promises of performance standards. It could explain your business ethics and mission. All of these there's all kinds of different ways that you can get across to the customer that you provide awesome service. So it's not just in how you talk to them, but it's in what you provide, what your service looks like. Does that make sense? So let's say that, I know that when I'm dealing with Intuit, they've got a million different phone numbers and it's so hard to find who it is I need to call. To me, that's not a positive, it's a negative. And then you get passed around, when you call them one of these corporate banks and they pass you from department to department and just nobody really wants to listen to what okay, and then just pass you by to the next person. It's very, very obnoxious. So you don't want to do that. You want to have a commitment to awesome service in whatever form that looks like. And then, you have to train people. You have to train them on how you want them to interact with your customers. You want to train them to be successful. You want to set them up for success. You want them to know your expectation. If they don't know your expectations, they will not rise to meet them. And you're the only loser on that end. So make sure that they understand your expectations, train them, set them up for success. When you set them up for success, you set yourself up for success. Another way to increase customers to return is to nurture them. So this kind of goes into a little bit of what I was just mentioning. It's important to nurture relationships with your customers the same way you would any other important relationship. Nurturing is the most cost-effective way to make sure customers feel valued and motivated to keep coming back and buying from you again. The more you stay in touch with them, the more you stay in front of them, the more likely they are to remember you. It's kind of like, when you're accounts receivable and you're making, collection calls, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. Well, in this case, you want to be the squeaky wheel because you want them to come in and come back and buy from you again, right? So here's a couple ideas for you. Send regular mailings to build on the relationship, like a newsletter or a calendar, service reminders, like if you were a car dealership or something. You can send thank you notes. You can write special articles of interest and send it to them. You can send them holiday cards, a bunch of different things like that. You could also have a loyalty program, that would reward them, kind of like these coffee shops do, anymore. You get, you buy 10 coffees, you get one free. You can also, another tip, make follow-up phone calls. There's the phone again, make sure they're 100% delighted with the product or service that they bought from you. Set the system up for ensuring that the relationship with your customer stays alive and and encourages them to repeat purchase. So it never hurts to, make those follow-up calls to ensure that they're happy. It's also kind of another way that you can, what do they call that stuff? Secret shopping. So do some secret shopping and just, make some random calls to, check to see how your performance is. So on this one, we're going to use a customer comment. So on the customer comment, so asking for feedback lets customers know that you're truly interested in them and what their opinion is. And a lot of businesses just don't bother with it. Well, some of them now, they have, online, Google reviews and things like that. But they don't really ask for them. They're just, willy-nilly. If you fill one out, great. If you don't, oh well, too. But the feedback can be extremely valuable for strategic planning. So one way to do it is with follow-up calls, just to make sure they're happy, with what they purchased from you. Or, let's say something was damaged or they weren't completely happy. You can have an opportunity to, write their issue, which may or may not save the relationship. So another way is to use a satisfaction survey. And sometimes it's difficult to get those returned, but you might have more luck doing that with, SurveyMonkey. Sending them out, electronically seems to get, a little bit more traction because somebody's not having to physically sit down and write something out, fill in all those little black circles or whatnot. Sending it through, like an internet-based deal would be probably the best choice, I would say. That would be my opinion. Anyways, you can follow up and you can ask them about a particular aspect of the service that they received, what they valued about it, what could be improved, and, things like that. So when you make an effort to gather feedback and the customer has made the effort to give it back to you, you don't want to waste it. Use the information to continually improve the way you're doing your business, and let your customers know that their suggestions are being used. There it goes back to letting them feel valued, that what they're saying matters, and that you're listening. It's the same with your employees. You're letting them know that what their opinion is, that it matters to you, and that you're taking everything into consideration. So that is it for our second way of increasing, of the 4 ways to grow your business. So in the next section, we're going to talk about the average sale value. So I will see you next time on that training.